We are live. Welcome.
Oh, yes.
Yes. It's me again.
There is a brand of high-end hair care products, the name of which is the letter O-U-A-I, and every time I think it's pronounced Y, but every time I look at it, I think of the opening to TLC's Creep. Oh, I. And I just start singing it, and then I'm just like 2 hours later going through all my 90s hip-hop favorites on YouTube.
Okay. I hate it when I click the pause button on our stream, but it doesn't actually pause. So I'm like, Rissy, why are you just repeating yourself? You literally just said that. And I'm like,
I did that same thing on Sunday and said the same thing to her.
I don't remember that.
I think you had like hit the button and gone to do something real quick. Okay. So yeah, there's a reason.
I thought maybe I was just drunk.
I mean,
we all were.
That maybe, but I don't think so.
Oh gosh, okay. Share now. Go be free.
Be free.
There's already people here. You guys are the shit. Thank you. You're not shit. You're the shit. There's a big difference. Just want to be very clear about that.
To you too, kitty.
Okie dokie.
Are you eating all of your food? You're certainly not eating your food right now.
My cat is chowing down on some stinky ass motherfucking food.
I was gonna say my cat's food is also stinky. She hasn't been eating as much at night as she has in the past, and so I'm just like, eat your food, doofus, go eat your food.
Tina, you fat lard.
Go eat.
Eat some ham. God. Tina.
Okay. Like, kitty, I know you love attention sometimes, but you need to eat your food.
They saw the wrong one. They saw the right one. There we go. Sorry. What's the date? It doesn't matter.
It's the 28th.
That is not what I meant to do. Am I drunk now?
Maybe.
Well, you're probably the only one who can answer that question.
I just saved the drunk podcast as this. Like, rather than doing a new one, I just saved as today's. Okay, so the drunk one still exists. So I can just open the one I just saved as and deleted it all.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Deleted.
Deleted.
Cool. Okay, there's that. a fun game of does my phone want to sync with OneNote today?
That does sound like a fun game.
It's not.
Yeah, it sounds kind of boring, actually.
Because last time I couldn't.
You could not.
Which meant that I can't watch the show notes and also the chat. And that is frustrating.
That is frustrating.
First world problems, I know.
The more use we get to technology, like, we, ignore how fantastic it is that we're all doing this in the first place. Like, God, my amazing technology that allows me to literally be live streaming myself all over the world is a
little sluggish.
Yeah. I try to remind myself of that every so often, but I'm not particularly good at it.
It's hard sometimes.
It is.
Praise tiny baby Jesus, I can pull it up.
Hooray.
Oh, baby
Hooray.
Jesus.
Man, none of this shit is right because holy shit was crazy today. I did not have time to update it, so I guess I'm just gonna fucking wing it today. Do you guys want to go ahead and get started?
Sure, let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
Amanda, you down?
Yep.
Cool. I'm still playing with this new light and deciding. Whatever. Good enough. I wish I didn't have the overhead light. It'd be better. I just put on an umbrella above me.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let's go ahead and start our recording devices. To everybody, let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
Hold on just a second. I need to bring mine up. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. And we're going to click the record button in 3, 2, 1. That appears to be working. Good. And we're going to clap in 3, 2, 1. Awesome, you guys.
Huzzah!
All right. Just double check that the snowball is what you're using.
Already checked before the podcast.
Excellent. Double check that the sound waves that are happening right now do not look crazy and peaky.
Not crazy.
Not peaky blinders.
Peaky fucking blinders.
Those would be crazy waves. Do they slice you with a hidden razor blade?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Or using the power of song.
What?
The singer woman, the Irish spy lady who totally tells Inspector Friendzone to fuck off. So she's getting married, Cillian Murphy.
I don't remember that. It's
She's
been a while.
Oh, okay. She sings at one point, and everybody's like, oh, she's the best.
Oh, good. I get to be my sister's mother.
What do you mean? Wait. Shouldn't we save that for the podcast?
No.
Oh.
My grandma's been in the hospital, and she's out now, and she's fine. Shit was just off, and she was retaining fluid.
Which can be dangerous.
And so I talked to her today, and she told me that she hadn't even heard from my sisters at all. And they're like 14 or 15, so they're old enough. So I texted them like half an hour ago, and I said, did you ladies know your Bubba was in the hospital? That's what we call my grandma. And one of them responded and said, yeah, Mom told us before she left. And I said, and neither of you thought it might be nice to call her and see how she was feeling? Why do I have to be a mother? I didn't have children. Sorry, it doesn't need to be on the podcast. You guys here can enjoy that tidbit of information. It's too depressing for the podcast itself.
They say write like your parents are dead.
Do they say that?
They do. That's actually quite a common saying amongst writers and whatnot. I don't know who specifically said it, but that basically the point being that in your writing, you're probably going to draw on a lot of things like experiences that would shame and humiliate your relatives or people that you know if they saw themselves in it, and you have to not give a shit about any of that in order to write well. So yes, write like your parents are dead.
Interesting.
I prefer to write like I am dead as well, so that I will not be shamed and humiliated by any of the shameful, humiliating things that I've done that I write into my works.
Well, there you go. Okay. All right. I'm ready to start this if you guys are, now that I'm done mothering my sisters.
Huzzah!
Them how to be like fucking human beings. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. Hello and welcome to episode 81 of the Dork Pridecast. My name is Blythe.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Rissy. We make up a comedy group called the Damsels of Dorkington, and this is our podcast, which is also funny depending on how much you like poop jokes and dick jokes, or if you're drunk. We are not drunk tonight. That was Sunday. That was Sunday night was the Drunk Pridecast for patrons only.
We were so drunk, we don't remember what night it was.
Yeah, I was pretty fucking blitz.
Yeah, I was shocked I was able to edit it and put it out as quickly as I did.
I was slightly hungover the next day. I should have had more water. I've avoided that with previous Pridecasts.
Amanda, how did you feel after the Drunk Pridecast?
I was
I am jealous.
I think.
Yeah.
You think? You can't remember.
It was a long time ago. But I can't remember 3 days ago normally, so that's not really saying anything about my drunkenness.
That's fair. Gosh, okay, so let's see. Damsel news. This is your last chance to get the adorable magnet with Amanda's picture on it, commemorating our favorite phrase, which is, I can tell you this for sure, with my doctorate degree. If you want that, you have to become a patron by the end of this month at the $10 level or above. So do that, please.
By Saturday.
And thank you. Just do it right now because you'll forget if you don't do it right now.
That's true.
That's true.
What? Oh, can we just talk for a hot second about the beautiful, blossoming love relationship that is currently occurring between two of our podcast members and two other podcast members?
I listened to the first half of one of their podcasts.
Good.
Today. I would intend to finish the rest of it, and then maybe we'll start in the conversation that you have going.
You don't necessarily need to be too up on it. Honestly, we're just talking nerd stuff. But if for those of you who are not patrons, or if you just haven't listened to the Drunk Pridecast from Sunday yet, we found a podcast. Well, they found us called Femsplained, and it is two delightful nerd ladies explaining. Well, each week, one of them picks a topic that they know very well and love, and they explain it to the other one. And sometimes the other podcast host doesn't know much about the topic, or maybe they do, and they both get in on the action. But it is really fun. There are only a few episodes in, so if you jump in now, you don't even have a huge backlog. The first episode is about Dungeons and Dragons. The second one is the second one Dragon Age, Amanda?
No, it's the Toonami one.
Oh, that's okay. Toonami and then Dragon Age, I think.
Yep.
And
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror Picture Show, and most recently an Animorphs episode. So if any of those things sound familiar to you or sound interesting to you, you don't have to be familiar with it, really. They'll literally explain it to you. That's the whole point of the podcast.
They do a really good job with the D&D explanation.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, they are but yeah, so we've been kind of like talking to them a little bit on social media, and then Amanda and I were both like, these girls are really cool. I really like them. And I was like, we should make them get on Telegram so we can just have a chat and a group chat, and we can just talk about how much we love each other all day. So,
well, because before that, all of our conversations had been DMs on Instagram, which is a little unwieldy. So
yeah, it's not great for messaging in general, but it's especially not great when you have a conversation between 4 people, but only 2 accounts.
Right. So then you have to be like, oh, and it's me, by the way, or it's yeah. Well, especially since Blythe had been talking to them, and then I got on there, and Blythe had just said, like, this is really only me. I'm really the only one who uses this account. And then I had gotten on. She's like, you're proving me wrong, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, and I wrote, yeah, sometimes I'm here too, except that right before that, I had literally had to ask Blythe how you get to messages on Instagram because I'd never sent or received one. So sometimes it's me. It was like, no, that was the first time it was me, but that was okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we are so similar. Like they've made a couple of jokes and gone off into riffing land a couple of times that have been right down our alley. And I'm like, that's why we love these girls so much. Like, they are nerds. They're around our age. They're just
interested in a lot of similar things, or similar enough that
yeah, and similar senses of humor. They're just I just love those girls so much. So go listen to Avalon and Diana and tell them we sent you, and yeah, check out Femsplained. It's pretty great.
It is pretty great.
Pretty great.
So yes, and we're hoping to someday maybe do like a crossover with them, and then our love will be true. I don't know. Whatever. It's already true. I guess that's really it as far as I will say we're pretty excited about the possibility of an April design. Because after we completed the Drunk Pridecast on Sunday, we had a little chat with just 3 of us, and I was like, guys, what should we do for our next design for the physical rewards for Patreon? And we came up with a really great one.
I had forgotten about that until you said that just now.
All.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes, we came up with a really great one.
I'm glad that it got written down so that it didn't just get forgotten completely by all of us. Because
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I emailed Michaela about it. So I've not heard back from her. So I don't think that she will be offended by our request. Just based on what I've seen her post on her Instagram. But it's it could be offensive. If you're here and you're listening to this, you're clearly not easily offended, and it's fine. But just saying, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And it's appropriate because Easter is in April, so
true.
It's sort of Easter themed.
Jesus Christ, I'm really wondering now what it is. Like, is it something about Jesus being a zombie?
No.
Okay.
You're in the right ballpark, though.
I'm gonna send you what it is, Rissy.
Thank you.
Don't say it out loud.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm so excited to have it be revealed, but I don't want I don't want it to be revealed until Michaela has finished the actual design.
Oh.
So,
are you guys seeing what's happening in the chat? We've had our first use of the ban hammer.
Yeah. Every once in a while, someone will just wander in from just a rando from YouTube who knows if they're like searching things and they're tagged, or they search for the tags that we've put on this video. I don't know how it happens, but every once in a while we'll get a rando in here, and they get kicked the fuck out by our badass moderators, Josh and Tom, always killing it. So
thanks, guys.
Josh put the smackdown on this one real quick. It was so quick, I barely even saw what he posted before it was like, this message is deleted.
Yeah.
I just saw one comment from him initially saying, I have no idea how I ended up here. And then I didn't see the second one.
There was another one, and I think it got explicit of something about running a train on some hose. I think is maybe something I saw, but it was wordy. So
remember that time we did a streaming thing, and there was this dude who tried to be like, I had a threesome once, and I was like, I'm gonna yes and you into a hole in the ground, and you're gonna bury yourself in that hole of shame, because I'm gonna be like, yes, hey, everyone here who is watching us stream, this guy is totally a sex monster who's always having the threesomes and not just beating it while he sobs. Oh, it was so great. And like, he started freaking the fuck out. He was like, no, I didn't mean, what are you doing? No, why, oh God, why? I'm like, you brought this upon yourself, motherfucker.
He did. He didn't know what he was bringing down on himself, but he did bring it down on himself.
God, that was good. That was really good. I'd still rather have the band hammer, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Not have to deal
I love it.
That sort of idiocy.
Yeah, back when we first started the group, we did a couple of like really long streaming sessions on a thing that used to be called Blog TV. And
that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore, or someone purchased it and it became something else, but it's still not well known. And yeah, we would get some randos in there. In fact, one guy wandered in once and started harassing us, but then realized that we're actually funny, intelligent human beings. And he stopped harassing us and started treating us like human beings. And then
that man is Blythe's husband.
It's not, but he actually became a patron for a while.
What? I didn't know that. That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah. He doesn't come around very often.
Well, good for him. You know, I like it when they can grow and change.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I was like, holy shit. So it was fun. Oh, and Josh in this chat points out that stream, that Blog TV stream, is what inspired him to create Dork Yolnir for us.
Jorknir.
Well, it's
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. So anyway, that was some good old damsel times.
Indeed. Oh, Wayne Walls, beating it while he sobs, my new catchphrase. Excellent. I love helping people get new catchphrases, especially as we're like sobbing and masturbation.
Two of my favorite things.
Right. Well, so I wonder, like, is there a way you can get the trifecta that, like, you sobbing while you eat ice cream? Can you be fucking the ice cream, like, sliding it down on your dick while you spoon it into your mouth and sob? Like,
that seems like it'd be cold.
Yeah, but I don't think you could masturbate for very long with ice cream.
You think that? I learned today on Reddit about a guy who compulsively masturbates into a cardboard box, and you wouldn't think that the cardboard around your dick would be particularly, stimulating either. It's called his cum box, and this is one of Reddit's inside jokes. It's one of those things where there was an Ask Reddit thread on what's a secret that could ruin you forever? And so this guy buries the lead in most spectacular fashion ever. He tells a brief little anecdote where, like, well, I had a cousin who was the exact same age as me, and he died when he was 17. And at the wake, I snuck up to his room and stole a bunch of his stuff that I knew his parents had no idea that he had, and so they would never miss. And then double space, also my cum box. That was it. And of course, everybody who replied was like, record scratch, we're going to need to know about this cum box, sir. Like, nobody cared at all about what he had done to his dead cousin's stuff. It was just like, we need to know about the cum box. You can't just let that hang out in the open. It turns out it is literally a shoebox that he compulsively masturbates into. He, much like Gollum, he hates and loves his cum box as he hates and loves himself. So I'm just saying, never underestimate the human capacity to masturbate into things that aren't good for your dick.
But was he using the box to actually masturbate?
Or just to
Or was he just coming in it?
Yeah.
I always thought he was just coming inside of the box.
That's kind of what I thought too. Like, he didn't have a place to... He didn't have
I don't know. That part is actually quite unclear. There are photographs.
Oh, that's unnecessary.
Yeah,
look at this photograph.
I think a patch of it is growing staff.
That sounds right.
Yeah, you have no idea how much willpower it took me to not click on those links, because I used to be, you know, if it said, don't click this link, don't click this link to see Tub Girl, I would always do the thing.
Do you guys remember the days of Rotten.com?
Oh, yes.
Oh, man, that fucked up my childhood, like, hard. Like, real hard. But yeah, there were definitely, like, I have a morbid curiosity. I always have had. But also, if I go too far, I will pass out and have seizures, which we've talked about. But I had to stop using Rotten.com because there were definitely a couple of times where I clicked on the next photo and should not have clicked on the next photo and had to throw myself on the floor and hope that I didn't lose consciousness. So
that sounds like good times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it took me too many times before I finally was like, I should stop doing this. No shit, 16-year-old Blythe. Idiot.
Well, you know what they say, the teenagers, they're, you know, like cars with really good acceleration and very bad brakes, right? They're really good at going at things and very bad at stopping.
You have a lot of you know what they say is tonight that I did not know that they said. I mean, that makes sense, but did not know that.
I read many articles on things, and this was about research that have been done on teenage brain development specifically.
Sure, but usually when you say, you know what they say, it's like a
thing that we know that people say.
Anyway, it just amuses me when I'm like, yes, go on with this well-known, oh no, no, okay, sure. That's what happens sometimes. And it amuses me.
Oh, well, good.
I know that we met like 3 days ago. But has anybody done anything like...
I discovered, you know, that whole thing about like once you hit a certain age, you can't enjoy your favorite foods anymore because they just #wrecked your insides. Cheap pizza. I can't do it anymore, you guys.
Oh no!
Is this the Domino's that you ate when we were gaming on Monday?
It is. Well, and 2 weeks before, there's a place here called Cosmos that I ate, and I just happened to notice on Tuesday when I was having like god awful diarrhea. I was like, wait a minute, I had diarrhea 2 weeks ago, and on both instances, I had cheap pizza that tasted delicious, and now I'm shitting my brains out. I'm probably going to have to skip going to the gym because what if this continues into the evening? I have no way of knowing if it will or if it won't, and I'm not getting on the elliptical machine. Yeah. So, yeah.
Weirdly, I have a similar story that literally happened this morning.
Oh, wow.
I had Wendy's last night.
Oh, no, not Wendy's.
Well, here's the thing. What I get at Wendy's, I just get like a little thing of chili and a baked potato, like cream cheese and chives, baked potato, like pretty standard. And normally that's fine. Normally I can handle that. I regretted my decision this morning. My body chose to expel everything that was previously inside of it.
Wait, were you double dragoning?
Oh no. No. Nothing like that. It had all worked its way
okay.
through, and oh my god, my cat has taken one of my hair ties and is literally like running to various spots in the apartment and then putting it down and then attacking on it. It's maybe the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm so sorry. I just had to share that little tidbit with you guys. Oh my god, it's so cute.
Oh, okay. Well, that's certainly cuter than us pooping our brains out. But yeah, I'm just like, not cheap pizza. It kept me alive for so long.
I know. I'm really sad for you, honestly.
And this, like, I just discovered that Domino's has roasted red bell peppers as a topping.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Basically my favorite food. And so I had thin crust with Canadian bacon, or here as they call it, ham.
Weird.
Right? Italian sausage, roasted red bell peppers, and black olives. It's like my favorite set of pizza toppings on thin crust. And I was #wrecked. R-E-K-T, wrecked.
Are we 100% certain that it's like just cheap pizza, or maybe like a lactose issue?
I mean, because the thing is, I have eaten like plenty of other things that are like ice cream and
that's fair.
cheese covered things, and so it's definitely not lactose intolerance. I think it's just cheap, greasy, delicious, wonderful pizza.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Wendy's is great. Like, I love Wendy's and their dollar menu. I'm sad that you know.
I think I've eaten at Wendy's a total of maybe 2 times in my life.
Oh, girl, you have missed out.
Growing up, my mom hated Wendy's, so she never. I mean, like, not that we went, but yeah. We never went there. I didn't
eat Wendy's growing up, but then later on when I discovered how cheap it was to get a baked potato and chili, it's like the only like fast food that's relatively low calorie and also relatively low cost. It's like $5.
Yeah.
And so
Wendy's chili sustained me for quite some time.
Yeah. And so that was I lived off of that for like lunch for a while, but I don't do fast food very often anymore. So yeah, I made a horrible mistake, I guess. Oh.
Yeah, milk was a bad choice.
You immediately regretted that decision.
I did. Well, 12 hours later or so.
Barely. You
turn off lights so I don't.
Thereafter regretted that decision.
Yes, I certainly did. Okay, so I don't know how I guess I asked what nerdy things you guys had done, and Rissy responded, I pooped a lot.
Because the pizza in each case was consumed during a Dungeons & Dragons gaming session.
Okay, makes sense now.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to talk too much about it, simply because we should save it for the Dragons and Damsels. Is that what we went with? Because Dungeons and Damsels was inappropriate?
Damsels and Dragons.
Yeah. Damsels and Dragons, yeah. How's that going? In a brief summary
of the game,
of just how things are, or anything kind of interesting, but don't want to get too far into.
We're all 9th level. We've been in a really weird dungeon crawl lately that reflects the 4 classical elements.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
And I think we just encountered Dr. Claw, but that was the cliffhanger.
Yeah, we literally walked into a room and there's
next time.
Yeah, there's like a big chair in a study, and there's like a black gauntleted hand that's all we can see. And so now this sucks because
was there a cat?
Not that we saw.
Know.
We don't know, but if there is a cat, it's probably a robot cat. This place is full of automatons.
Well, that sounds pretty awesome, actually. So
yeah, it was a super Dr. Clawsh moment. I'm like, God damn it! The dude who had the gauntlets that we were here to get is supposed to be dead.
But it doesn't seem like he is.
Yeah. Or maybe we'll get lucky and it'll be like in a different game I played many years ago where instead of an actual person sitting in that chair, it's actually just what looks like a person, but really it's an old cloak full of rats.
That doesn't sound better. That sounds
it was
terrifying.
I mean, but
what have they been eating all this time? It's been like hundreds of years or something like that.
Maybe the ball of rats was much larger when they started out.
Maybe.
It's been shrinking.
Well, if you guys want to hear more about their adventures in hell and also Robotlandia.
Yeah, it's literally like a pocket dimension full of fucking robots, full of D&D robots.
For sure. Become a patron, because once we reach the $750 goal, we will release a special bonus podcast that's kind of like the Drunk Pridecast. They don't do it live, but you have to be a patron to hear it. So, yes. And we're close-ish. We're at like 680, and we need to get to 750. So we're less than $100 away.
And you can hear us talk about our ludicrous fucking Dungeons and Dragons experiences, some of which are amazeballs.
Amanda, are you still like 12 years old?
11, but yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Most children would be excited if you guessed them to be older than they are.
Well, she's still trying to get into movies for cheap, so, she doesn't want to be aged out of that.
That's fair. That is very fair.
You're going to have to go through puberty again.
Yeah, that should be super fun.
Right? Since your character's a tiefling, do you have, like, super evil periods, do you think? Like, when, like, you have a chunky day, does the blood, like, talk to you with the voice of Satan? Fuck your mother!
Yeah.
That's not in the player's handbook, so I assume you can decide for yourself whether that happens.
Excellent! Homebrew world! Woo!
Also, no.
Also, no. Amanda.
Yes.
What are you doing over there? Anything? You written any more on that thesis of yours?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay! Yay!
We are proud.
I actually have written a few pages.
Look at you
Pages,
go!
not even paragraphs, pages. My
I mean,
goodness.
it's all materials and methods, but it still has to be written.
Dude, materials and methods is the best because it makes you feel so good about yourself. It's always the easiest part of the paper, but you actually did something, and it's sometimes
except when it's something you did years ago and you have to try to remember where you found a thing.
Right.
So,
but even so, like, materials and methods is so nice, and sometimes you can use that momentum generated to write other stuff. So
yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. It's like, well, it's something that needs to be written, and I'm less likely to get sucked into just something completely random and not, like, there's so many times that I have had to literally, like, say out loud to myself, like, stop doing this. This doesn't matter. Get back to,
it's
like,
hard
focus.
when you have to be your parent sometimes.
Yes.
I'm glad that my parents never called me a cunt the way I'd call myself when I need motivation.
Well, sure. We all have different parenting methods
for ourselves.
Oh, wow. I have had a fucking hell of a week at work. Basically, we had our quarterly meeting today, which IT is, of course, in charge of, like, setting up all the tech for. So it turned into like an ordeal because we'd been doing it in a different place recently. Like, this was the first time we were doing it in our own building at this, specific place. So it wasn't just like, oh, we've done this a million times. You plug this in here and you plug that in there and you hit the button and you go. So my boss and my coworker have spent the entire week focused on that, cursing loudly, oftentimes over like the speakers
As a sound check.
Yes. Like fuck this, fuck everything. It's better than check, right? So that's been fun. And then my other coworker was out sick on Monday and Tuesday. So it was literally just me, like holding down the fort and trying to put out, you know, the smaller fires that were happening in the rest of the studio. So it has just been batshit crazy. And then today, the quarterly meeting happened. And oh my God, thank God it's over. I just am ready to not be stressed the fuck out. So, but that's been my entire week, especially since we podcasted. I just have been being at work for 9 or 10 hours and coming home and being exhausted. Maybe watch an episode or two of Full Metal Alchemist, lather, rinse, repeat. So.
I saw something on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, and it was like a graphic, and it said, it was like a list, like not going to a party, going to my room, going to bed early. All of my punishments as a child have become my favorite things as an adult. I'm like, yup.
I love it. I love it so much. Hey, Rissy, can we see your necklace?
Yes, you can. Okay.
Oh, too close.
Too low.
Back
Too
up a
low.
little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Now backing up.
Oh, hell yes. All right. So for those of you who don't know, it's a tiny book.
Tiny book.
And Rissy, why don't you tell us about that book? And Amanda and I will shut up so the camera will stay on you. Oh, no.
So this is a batshit insane cover art from a Russian edition of the Silmarillion. I saw it online, and I highly recommend just Google it. This shit is cray. It is so fucked up looking. And I was like, I love it. And so I asked my awesome friend, Ivory Kirk, who is one half of the team that writes Time Bangers with my clone, Luna Teague. And she also maintains an amazing Etsy store called Seize the Memes of Production. I help her with ideas for products sometimes. So she made this for me, and I fucking love it. I wear it all the time because, yeah, it's just fucking crazy cuckoo banana pants.
Is that one available on Etsy, that one specific one?
No, but my best, it was a custom thing. But you know what? If people asked for it, she definitely would make it because she's got the...
Yeah. I love it so much, and I want people to be able to at least see it, but it's very hard on the tiny camera because it's such a tiny little book.
She's got some really good ones. Like, she found all this old, crazy, like, sex pulp novels, specifically about lesbians, and some of it is so crazy. I love it.
They're so good. They're so good. So anyway, I was perusing this morning because she made new kitten pendants. And
that's fancy kitten. Yes. She showed me fancy kitten, and I was like, I love it. It needs to be saying why though. Because that look on its face is a combination of like dull horror and like both sort of why, oh Lord, have you forsaken me, but also kind of a battered resignation. Like, this is a very complex look on this kitten's face. It contains so many different emotions, like Brechtian alienation is just nakedly there on adorable kitten face. So if you want to see what that looks like, do take a gander at Seize the Memes of Production. I'm so glad that Fancy Kitten is now available for consumption because she showed me.
It's pretty great.
It's so the shop is just Memes of Production, all one word, and that one is called Emotionally Complicated Kitten. She has them with a lot of different color backgrounds, and they're very cute. I got one with she gave me one with a sort of teal.
Oh yeah,
which I wore yesterday.
That's cute. I like it.
Seriously, guys, go look at that cat face, and that cat has looked into the abyss, and the abyss has looked into it.
And now she can do alchemy without drawing a circle.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. That is dangerous.
I mean, once you've looked into the abyss and the abyss has looked back.
Do you need saltpeter anymore?
Always. 200 grams salt, 250 grams saltpeter, or whatever.
That's the thing that and the Chimera Girl Dog are the things that have stuck with me the most about Full Metal Alchemist. And because the thing is, I remember I was surprised. I'm like, I thought this was like a fun, cheerful kind of thing that was about goofy European magic.
Yeah,
and then it was
me
like,
too.
No, it's not. Yeah, that shit was fucked up.
Gosh,
Ooh, Josh suggests the Never-Ending Story for a small book necklace. That would be pretty great.
I do love the Never-Ending Story.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Story.
I'm trying. Is there anything else?
Do we want to talk about 80s fantasy movies and like which were the ones, like what ones have aged the least badly?
Oh my gosh. I gotta say, on the Rocky Horror Picture Show episode of Femsplained, I am such a fangirl. Clearly, it's coming back again. They talked a lot about Labyrinth.
Yes.
Which that's always a good one. That has aged pretty decently.
Yes, I would agree. I think Labyrinth holds up remarkably well.
And they said something on that podcast that I did not know.
Go on.
That apparently David Bowie was not first choice for the Goblin King.
In fact, that he was third.
He was like third.
Yeah.
And the first choice was fucking Michael Jackson.
That's wow.
Michael Jackson stealing babies gives that movie a whole nother connotation.
That's like, wow, so much meta narrative would have been infused into the story. Holy shit. Oh god, the memes, you guys. Can you imagine the memes we'd be swimming in at this minute?
Oh my gosh, I would love someone to Photoshop Michael Jackson into David Bowie's costume.
So this is what's happening in an alternate universe right now. In that universe where Michael Jackson was Jareth the Goblin King, then you have all sorts of crazy like photoshops of haha, I stole your baby or whatever, all the Labyrinth memes that are out there would now have Michael Jackson in them, and it would be so much richer.
Do you think, because you know how like basically everyone has some little like song and dance number about David Bowie's penis?
Right.
Do you think it would have been the same and everyone would have a little song and dance number about Michael Jackson's penis?
Well, would he have grabbed his crotch and said "Chimona" in Labyrinth? Because if so, then I would say yes.
Would he have worn the same type?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like
what direction would the costume have gone in?
Yeah.
I guess we need to know how much choice David Bowie had over his own appearance. Like how much did the art director and whatnot and costume designer?
Or did Michael Jackson turn it down because he didn't want to wear those pants?
It could be. Although, yeah, that's not exactly his style. Or at least not at the time.
It for sure was not. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I don't know. There are some things, of course, that we will never know, unfortunately.
But can you imagine adorable little, like, soft, high-pitched voice Michael Jackson trying to be, like, scary at Jennifer Connelly? Like, I would be like,
I'm pretty sure she would be taller than him because Jennifer Connelly is a real tall woman. That would change a lot of things, like, in terms of its physicality.
Sure. Yeah. I'm just,
yeah.
I want to go to the world where, like, I want to go to the timeline where that did happen. I want to see it so badly.
Just to watch it.
Yes.
So
yes,
a string of worlds of you know, movies and TV shows with different casting choices and things like that. Like I would love to see the train wreck that would have been the Lord of the Rings if they had cast Stuart Townsend instead of Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn. Stuart Townsend was their first choice. And apparently they just realized that like, oh God, he looks like a beardless kid and he can't do any of the physical stuff required for a character like Aragorn, and they basically gave him the boot a few weeks into shooting and just brought Viggo Mortensen in. But can you fucking imagine if Lestat from Queen of the Damned was Aragorn? That guy? That fucking guy? Chest hairless? vampire in Queen of the fucking Damned. Oh, wow. I just, woohoo, bullet dodged.
I'm still trying to picture Michael Jackson as Jareth.
Yeah, you're having trouble, I know.
The problem is Michael Jackson has so many iconic looks of his own that it's hard not to just simply transplant him whole cloth.
Yeah.
At various points in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Like from the music video for Do You Remember the Time?
Well, it's funny because the reason why they brought up Labyrinth is because they were talking about how these very pretty androgynous men made them feel all the sexual feels when they were very young.
Androgynous is a trendy word and I hate it. That was Boy George circa 1983.
But yeah, no, thinking about that, especially with Labyrinth, it was like, oh, that one did make me feel like not just David Bowie, but Jennifer Connelly as well. Like,
she's very pretty.
Yes. And she was a lot younger in that movie than I realized.
Love
like
that
14
vest
or something. Yeah, her whole outfit. I would probably
wear that today if I wouldn't get laughed at as soon as I set foot out of doors. But yeah, that like poet shirts, vest,
ballet flats.
Yeah. That's good shit right there.
Yeah, she definitely seemed older in that film. And then, yeah, growing up and looking back on that and being like, oh, this is creepy. Like,
yeah.
Well, up until fairly recently, like, think about the ages of various Disney princesses, right?
Oh, I know.
Well, also just watching it as a kid, because I've told you about when I'd watched The Neverending Story as a very young kid, and they make a point of saying that Atreyu is a child, and I'm like, no, he's not. He's a grown-up. Look how old he is.
I was gonna say, he looks like he's at least 11.
And then watching
Bastion is like,
it's just like, how did I ever? Okay, I was very young when I saw that, because for me to have thought, yeah.
Well, shit, when you're 7 years old, sixth graders, like, seem like they should be driving and wearing three-piece suits and going to work every day at their banking jobs.
So worldly.
But yeah, I think the whole, like, super young girl romance thing, I'm glad that appears to have finally fucking petered out. Because creepy! Like, I mean, I still love The Little Mermaid, but the fact that Ariel is 16, and this is explicitly stated multiple times, is,
it's not great.
It's problematic.
It's
How
not
old
great.
is Belle? Belle is not much older, if I'm not mistaken.
I think she's one of the older princesses, though.
Right. And that's because Princess Aurora is 16.
I mean, yeah, but that was a different time.
It's true, that was the 1950s. But in terms of like average Disney princess age, it's probably 16, 17.
I know, and they all get married at the end.
Right. So, yeah. And of course, the Beast isn't, let's see, he was what?
Belle from Beauty and the Beast is apparently 17.
That's still too young.
Oh, girl. Obviously.
Right.
Snow White was 14.
Ew! Oh, what? Gross. I don't remember them ever stating her age in that terrifying, awful movie that I expected was going to be really good, and then I saw it, and I'm like, this is god-awful. I hate all of it.
This is Jasmine was 15.
Thankfully, she and Aladdin don't actually get married until 2 movies later.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true.
Still not great, but...
Right, and of course, all, like, the more recent films, Princess and the Frog, and...
I was gonna say, Tiana is a woman with her own fucking restaurant.
Yeah, and Tangled, like, they're at least 18, 19, so Disney kind of figured out, oh, these girls should probably be at least the age of fucking consent.
Well, and Moana, for example, like, there's no romance in it.
Yeah.
That's a much safer way, I think, of going. I would put Tiana in her early 20s, even. Because, again, I mean, she's worked hard enough to have the funds for her own fucking restaurant and whatnot. I mean, like, she's clearly been...
Yeah. I'm looking at a BuzzFeed article that lists their ages, and I'm just trusting that they've done the research and are correct.
Yeah, no, because in some of them they say
Right.
They actually say the age.
Like in The Little Mermaid,
yeah.
she specifically says, but yeah.
Well,
like,
and in Sleeping Beauty, on her 16th birthday, she shall prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and die. I love every word that comes out of Maleficent's mouth in that movie. So fucking good. Apparently, it was not at all a hit in its own time. And I'm like, damn, people of the 1950s, you are so dumb. That movie is badass, start to fucking finish. And it looks so good. Like, it still looks so good.
It's not
the
bad.
Animation is hyper stylized, but has not really aged a fucking day. I feel the way about Sleeping Beauty that in some ways I feel about Paul Simon's Graceland. It's definitely a product of its time, but also timeless.
I guess I'll take your word for it. I don't know that I know it at all.
It's okay. It's Paul Simon's Graceland's really fucking awesome. Like,
okay.
It's definitely a product of the mid-'80s, and it sounds like it, but it's pure magic. I love it. I love Paul Simon. Anyway.
Rissy, do you happen to have a Dork Pride chat for us this week?
Somebody points out the Beast is 21. Yeah, that's right, because the rose will bloom until his 21st birthday. 17 and 21 is not it's
not awful.
No, especially for a cartoon, and especially one set before.
I'm pretty sure that was my first relationship in high school. I was
with a beast?
Yes, a 21-year-old beast.
Okay. I mean, how did your parents feel about that?
They weren't too happy.
Was it a nice little Mormon boy, though?
No.
Well, no wonder. About age.
I mean, it was a little bit about age.
Well, sure.
But also, yeah.
But it was mostly about something else.
Yes.
I do have a Dork Pride chat, actually. Inspired by what we've been talking about. What is the alternate casting? What actor they're replacing, and what movie or TV show that you would love to see? And this can be for chaos spreading purposes, as well as somebody you think would have done a much better job. So I remember when I was reading everything that there was to be read on the internet about the Lord of the Rings movies, and their official website, they had all this great stuff about the progress of the movie as it was being made. And then that was where I read that Stuart Townsend had originally been the first choice for Aragorn. And I think I laughed for a couple of minutes solid, because I was like, what? So yeah, I would absolutely love to see that alternate universe version of the movie where everything else is just so pitch fucking perfect, and you've got this goddamn twerp as Aragorn. And the scene where Éowyn, it's only in the extended cut of the second movie, where she's questioning about his age, and he's 92 years old, and she can't believe it because, of course, he looks like he's middle-aged. But basically, Stuart Townsend's like, "No, I'm 90 years old." I'm also the vampire Lestat. Don't be afraid of me. Take me seriously. So yeah, I would so love to see that movie version of several movies.
I have one.
Okay.
That is fresh in my mind right now because I just listened to a How Did This Get Made episode.
Oh, awesome.
Why I even know that this was an option. Are you guys familiar with the 90s film, I guess? Yeah, 90s film Ladybugs?
Oh, yeah. Jonathan Brandis.
With Jonathan Brandis, who
who eventually killed himself, didn't he?
He did kill himself. I don't know if you know this, but I had a huge Jonathan Brandis problem crush.
Oh, two of my best friends in junior high did as well.
I think we've discussed this, but I don't know if I've discussed it on the podcast. Yeah, I fell in love with him in Neverending Story 2.
I wish for you to have a heart.
And I was absolutely just head over heels for him forever after that.
Did you watch the Disney's Aladdin TV version because he voiced the creepy dude with one skeletal hand and a pet eel?
Sounds pretty creepy. But I was in love with him to the point where when he died, I like legitimately cried and made like a R.I.P. Jonathan Brandis graphic for my website at the time.
I bet you did. Oh, wow.
I should see if the fucking Wayback Machine has that.
Yeah, we definitely need to find that. Okay.
Anyway, so I was a big Jonathan Brandis fan, so I definitely saw Ladybugs. And if you're unfamiliar, it's a female soccer team, and Rodney Dangerfield is coaching it. And
it's basically Tootsie with Jonathan Brandis and a soccer team.
There you go. Yeah. And so he recruits Jonathan Brandis to come and be a girl on this soccer team of like 12-year-old children, I think. They're pretty young. Apparently, according to How Did This Get Made, the original offer for Jonathan Brandis's role was made to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, wow.
And it was shortly before he did What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Right.
So, not a crazy offer at the time.
Yeah.
Because, like, What's Eating Gilbert Grape kind of, cemented him as a serious dramatic actor.
For sure.
Gilbert, I killed him.
I would love to see Leonardo DiCaprio
as Gilbert Grape in Ladybugs.
Get out of here.
That would be a very strange casting.
It would be. How would Gilbert Grape be able to even maintain the idea that he was a girl?
I don't know, but I would pay good money to see it.
Me too.
All right then.
Amanda. Go on.
What were you gonna say, Rissy?
I was saying there's good shit happening in the chat, but we can wait.
Well, yeah. I was gonna bring up one. So Josh had said, Josh says, I remember Nick Nolte was supposed to play Han Solo in the original Star Wars. I was actually going to bring up a different person that I'd heard had been, because I heard that a lot of names were kicked around for Han Solo, but one I'd heard that would have drastically changed the movie was Bill Murray.
Oh God!
Wow. Yeah.
Like that would.
Yes, it's true, Java. This man has no penis.
Joshua Donovan in the chat is talking about the Tim Burton Superman film that was going to star Nick Cage that never came to be. I would love to have seen that film. There's pictures of like the costume, like they were in the process before it got scrapped.
Well, Nicolas Cage is obsessed with comic books and whatnot. I mean, and Superman in particular. He named his kid Kal-El.
Oh, I don't know if I knew that.
Oh, yes, Kal-El Cage. In fact, Nicolas Cage, it's a stage name. He gets his Cage from Luke Cage.
Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah, I knew that.
But you didn't know, that he named his fucking kid Kal-El. Oh, my God. So my favorite in the chat is definitely, whose suggestion is it? Joshua Donovan, Sean Connery as Gandalf the Grey. A wizard, Frodo Baggins, is never late. Neither is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
How about William Shatner as Gandalf?
Oh, Jesus Christ! That is almost too horrifying.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Wow. Freaking out, man.
You are freaking out.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you guys have ideas for alternate castings that you would like to see either because you think they'd be really good or really terrible, let us know. Use the hashtag Dork Pride Chat and, yeah, come up with some good stuff because...
The dark fire will not avail you, flame of Udun. Go back to the shadow. You cannot pass.
Yeah, so that's going to be it for this episode of the Dork Pridecast. Of course, we want to give a big thank you to Sarah Donner for allowing us to use music off of her latest album, Black Hole Heart.
You can find the Damsels of Dorkington on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Also, if you have a few minutes, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on iTunes. That is a Balrog-sized help to us that costs you $0.
But if you do want to support us in the form of dollars, check out our Patreon. Check out just go to patreon.com/Damsels of Dorkington. There's lots of information that explains it better than my tongue-tied self can currently. But if you do go there, you can get all these rewards that you can't get anywhere else, like being thanked on this podcast. And if we were going to do something like that, it would probably sound something like this. Rissy, how are we doing it though?
Shit. Well, I don't know if we can top last week's.
Well, I won't even try. Wait, was it last week's or the Patreon?
No, it was last week's that was the farting. I don't remember at all what we did for the drunk
Pridecast. Yeah, I was too drunk by the time we got there.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that. I mean, we could do this as if we were drunk.
No, that sounds horrible. Let's cast them.
Okay.
Who would we like to see these people cast as?
Okay. All right. So, definitely Travis and Wendy Mays as the romantic leads in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And by that, I mean April O'Neil and Casey Jones.
Why not? Amanda, do you want to take the next one?
No, because I have one.
Because I that's good. Because Aaron Felsen, I would like to see in a live action version of Disney's Sword and the Stone.
As the sword?
No, as Arthur.
Oh, okay.
I just think that's such a cute character, and I think Aaron would be adorable.
Totes adorbs.
Totes adorbs. He would hate that I'm saying he's adorable. I hope he's not listening.
I would like to see John Kozlowski playing the role of Willy Wonka.
Ooh, I think that's great.
I could super get into that.
Yeah.
But only if he does that forward roll bit that...
Oh, that Johnny Depp did? Oh, no, that
not Johnny Depp.
Yes, I know.
Gene Wilder, you heretic.
Yes.
I would like to see Greg Milliken as the T-1000 in Terminator 2.
Sure.
I just think you'd be perfect for it.
Oh gosh, my brain has gone just dumb. Does anybody have any ideas here? Because I don't even have anything to look at around me to help.
Oh, to look at ideas for films?
Wait, Justin Mansfield, I would like to see him play the guy who interviews all the kids in the Hunger Games trilogy.
Oh, Temple Smith? Is that his name?
I don't know. I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, I can't remember either what his name is.
Stanley Tucci's character.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
I would like to see Gordon Nelson playing the character of the Cheshire Cat.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
I could picture him as Cheshire Cat in some live action Alice in Wonderland.
Carlos Massera definitely as Paul Atreides in the David Lynch Dune movie.
Specifically the David Lynch version.
Yes.
I love it.
I refuse to consider any other versions of Dune as legitimate.
That's completely fair. We would also like to thank Stephen Kendall, Jenny and Ryan Wiedenbenner, Melody Glatzel-Smith, Jay Teller, Wayne Walls. God damn it. He's already gone. Good. He didn't hear me fuck it up again. Eric Ruggles, Zachary Drake, Joe Louie, Matt and Mattingly's, Ice Cream Social, Salt Pork, and last, but of course not least, Brandon, Katie, and Thomas David.
So thanks for joining us, everyone. This has been episode 81 of the Dork Pridecast. We will see you all next week.
Deuces!
Jetpack. Pew!